Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the F1 2021 game, and today we're gonna talk about short shifting, what it is, why you should do it, and how to do it all in one video. So let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, I can heavily recommend you trying short shifting on time trial, and short shifting is only beneficial, at least from what I know, if you don't run traction control. If you run traction control, this will be totally useless for you. So first thing first, what is short shifting? Short shifting is basically, if you already listened to what it means, you shift short. That can mean you double shift twice, something like that. Like you go, for example, in a slow speed corner from second to fourth gear, or you go from second to third. But the thing is, it's called short shift because you're not using the full rev range. So if this is the start of your rev and this is the end, I don't know if you can see that. So this is the start, this is the end, but you shift somewhere in between here, all right? Because it's more extreme. Like you're going for a shorter RPM. Like you want to minimize the wheel spin. You want to kind of reduce any kind of slip that you can generate by doing mistake, but maybe having a little bit too much steering input, maybe being too aggressive on the throttle. These little things. That's why it's called a short shift. So it can be 1 gear, it can be 2 gears, it can be 8 gears if you go from neutral to 8, but this is probably gonna be slower. And I will show you what to do. So first of all, let's pick our car, the RV16B. Unfortunately, we are still with the older cars, but this is still the F1 2021 game, so we have to deal with that. So first things first, our lap time is actually, I think, on default setup, but I will reset the delta. It will probably be slow because I didn't drive the whole week. Every single video I'm telling you guys that I'm rusty and the thing that I'm not doing is driving, so I will stay rusty. Just so in case you're wondering, hey Marcel, why are you not banging out a world record right now? Because this is an educational video. All right, I'm showing you how to go fast, what to do. So like I said, it can be multiple short shifts. The reason why you should do it is because it helps you optimize and minimize, like it helps you optimize lap time by minimizing mistakes. We are all human, we all do mistakes. And by short shifting, you make it easier for yourself to go on the throttle and sometimes not get wheel spin. Of course, if you can, technically short shifting will always limit you. It's kind of like a traction control. But in this case, we are going so fast, we are always trying to push the limits, so we are trying to maximize everything, and sometimes being earlier full throttle, because with short shifting, you're lowering the RPM range. Look, so if we shift up, if I accelerate in 8th gear, alright, you can see it's limited to 5k RPM because the RPM is too low. If we go in 1st gear, it's going to 13k RPM, so you get the idea, right? By short shifting, you're reducing the RPM, and the RPM is how quickly your wheels are able to spin, which in the end means if you lower it, there's less of a chance to get wheel spin while still having power getting delivered to your rear wheels. It's only about the rear wheels. The front wheels, they don't get any kind of power. It's the rear wheels. It's a rear powered car, all right? So if we short shift, for example, here, or if we don't, if we shift too late, we get this little bit of a like jump from the car, and out of nowhere we're losing it. But if we short shift, this is just a small example here, I will show you the corners where you should try and short shift. Like here, if we go into 5th gear and I go, you could see how early I was on the throttle. Like here, if we go into 5th, this is exactly what I mean. I cannot be as early on the throttle. Sometimes it's actually losing you time because you're losing acceleration out of corners. But that's the feeling that you have to get. From short shifting, just get a feeling for it. It will take time. Like 4th gear was also fine. You just have to open the steering wheel a bit earlier. But you're gaining way more time, and that's also why you should do it. So you're technically having a traction control while not having a traction control. If I don't short shift out of turn 4, this is turn 3 by the way. Let's take turn 4, 3rd gear usually. You can see I'm struggling way more. And that was a bit exaggerated, but I would still struggle in 3rd gear. I will show you in a second how it looks with 4th gear, but also Why I'm picking Silverstone? Because the first sector, that's kind of the one that you approach the quickest, because it's the first one of the track. You actually have turn 3, turn 4, mainly turn 4 the exit where you can try and short shift. It's just one gear. If you go into second gear, then short shift still into fourth usually. Third gear usually causes you a little bit more wheel spin. And especially with the exit curve, it's quite tricky. With the next corner, Brooklands, it's turn 5. Or is it actually 2 corners? Is Brooklands 2 corners? I don't know. But Brooklands and Lovefield, the long right-hander. Alright, with the exit curve on the left to the old pit straight. Everyone is struggling there. Esports drivers, amateurs, everyone. Alright? In this corner, you will see the benefits of short shifting big time. And also the final corner of the track, like the beginning of the lap. So if we go on time trial, you will actually have that before the first sector. You can also train your short shifts because it's a slow speed section. It's usually not beneficial in high speed sections, okay? And you only do it when upshifting, not downshifting. Like quickly downshifting, you're not short shifting, all right? This is not a short shift. It's only, we're talking short shifting about the upshifting part. And that's again when you limit your RPM. So you shift up earlier than intended, because usually the rev range is from something where it starts to 11k RPM, something, or 12k RPM, something in between there is the perfect spot to shift at the 11k somewhere there. Like if you go too high, you lose power. If you go too low, you lose power. But with the low out of corners, you can actually accelerate quicker, more consistent, and minimize mistakes. And that's what we're trying to do, okay? We, of course, want to push the boundaries, but that is part of pushing the boundaries. Because we're human, we need to eliminate our human errors. And if we do too many errors, we have to limit them. We have to find a way to figure these out. But now let's see. Brooklands, you cannot really short shift here. If you want to go in 4th gear, and 5th gear, but you don't really feel it here. But now this corner is the special one. We go in 4th, and we accelerate. You can see the rear getting a little bit slippery. I'm actually gonna set the delta just so we have a comparison. So now the reason why I want you guys to do this on time trial is because you will have a delta, so you can see yourself how this affects you. But now here, look, we're not gonna short shift. Wait, I'm actually gonna flashback that, because there was a horrible line and I want the delta that's actually really good for comparison. Alright, it's a bit harder on default setup to see the difference in that corner. But now let's do the short shifting part, okay? So we are going into 4th gear at the exit, and you will hear we shift way before we should actually shift here. Now listen. And even though we still struggle a bit with the curb, we gained a 10th alone. That was not perfect, alright? You get the idea. We will maybe do it another time. On the next lap. Let's short shift into 5th gear here. Way more consistent, another half a 10th gained. Actually, in that corner, next lap, I will not short shift, just so you can see that I'm struggling more and probably having a worse exit. Like, you can still achieve similar exits, if not the same or even better ones, but it's just easier and it's free lap time. You want to be consistent, you don't just want to be fast, you want to also have the consistent hyper speed, alright? Alright. Short shift. And we get a little bit more traction. A bit off the pace right now. That's alright. Let's not short shift in turn 4. Oh no, let's do it actually. There it is. Look at that exit. Oh my god, lovely. That is actually really good. We're gonna do it once more. Also this time without short shifting in turn 4. The no short shift here. Yeah. I mean, I could get more rotation by accelerating in 3rd gear. around the apex, but when it came to exit traction, we lost I think 2500. Oopsie, a little bit okay, that was fully my mistake with the throttle. I was too aggressive. You can still, like, of course, guys, you can also short shift into 6th, but you will be slow, okay? There's a certain point where short shifting is too slow. You cannot go from 4th into 6th or something at a corner like that where you have already a lot of downforce. You still need to control the throttle to some extent, but it will make your life a whole lot easier. It's not gonna be any kind of, now you can just spam the throttle, okay? You still need to kind of play with it, but it will make it a lot easier. It will make it a lot more consistent, and that's what we are going for. So let's see. All right. Was fine. I didn't nail it, okay, but it's still all right. Yeah. But in general, if you want to train short shifting, slow speed corners, okay? In high speed corners like these ones here, you don't need short shift because we're doing it for traction, alright? We want to gain traction on exits. You don't really need traction in high speed corners. Like here, for example, just because I go in 5th gear, this is not a short shift. It is a short shift, but it's not for the intended reason. Because 5th gear gives me a little bit more rotation there. Messed it up, but you get the idea. So in summary, if we short shift 1 or 2 gears, I would say at max 2 gears. 3 gears would be extreme. That would probably mean you're back to 2019 gears, like where you downshift in the 1st gear in most corners. On this modern game, you don't need to do that. 1 or 2 gears of short shift is really beneficial and will give you lap time. So do it in some corners, like turn 4, where you kind of have to, you're still quick, but it's still a slow speed corner considering F1 cars. So you're already missing out on grip and you need a good exit because there's a long straight. Do it. Austria, hairpin. Austria, the corner after the hairpin, you can technically short shift from 3rd into 4th. Brazil, Senna S. Brazil, the hairpins in the middle sector. Brazil, final corner. China, hairpin. China, hairpin 2. China, the hook corner, where it's like left, right, and then the hook leading to the straight. All of these corners where you lack traction, kind of, it's not even just about slow speed, but where you feel like you're gonna lose the rear whilst accelerating, please try and use short shifting. 1 gear, try it. If it's still not enough, 2 gears. And sometimes if you have those 2 gears, maybe try and go back to one gear because maybe you're doing it too much because you don't control the throttle good enough yet. But sometimes it will still be 2 gears, like for example here in Lafayette. I think 5th gear is quicker for me. I know some use 4th, but 5th is more consistent and quicker for me most of the time, so I'm doing 5th. Yeah. So in case this video did help you all, please consider giving it a like, subscribe, and check out the other videos on my channel. Also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these gems coming out, especially for the new game. It's not long now. I think a max of 4 months, something like that. We have to wait and see. But I'm excited for the future, and I will make these kind of videos if it's still beneficial, short shifting in F1 2022 or in other games in the future. So make sure to stay around if you like the content. I really appreciate your support. Have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.